Good morning. Would you believe it has been about a week now since we had that really wild weather? And today is the very first morning we have blue skies first up. It has been raining for the last week. So happy to wake up this morning to these gorgeous blue skies. We have had rain overnight, as you can see from the ground. Oh, morning sun. Look at that sun coming through. Goodness me. Hopefully you can see all the rain on the leaves. I have quite a nice day planned today. I've got the local sort of gentleman that comes and sort of helps me out with a bit of the more difficult garden tasks, or if something's really heavy and things like that and I just need a hand, I have a local guy that will come and assist with that. So I've got him coming this morning, sort of bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And then once he has been, I've got to run some errands and think that they should be a lot of fun as well. So I wanted to bring you along with me for that. But while he is here, sort of getting stuck into my little list of jobs for him, I thought we might get into the Easter decorations today. It is definitely feeling Easter-ish. I'm feeling the vibe for it finally. I don't decorate for Easter like I decorate for Christmas, like super over the top, but I do have Easter decorations and I would love to get them out and kind of just get them into position. And you know, with these sort of holidays, obviously it's, you know, a year later since you've seen these decorations and I've almost forgotten what I've got. So it will very much be uncovering my Easter decorations. I thought we would do that together. But given we've got these beautiful blue skies, I thought I would come out this morning and just have a little look around the garden. Birds are all doing their thing. So yes, let's head inside. Let's get all the Easter decorations out. Let's sort of see what I've got, and then we will think about where everything is going to be placed. And then hopefully Russ, the gentleman who helps me with the garden stuff, will be here and he will be underway. And then once he is done, we're going to head out on some just really fun errands. There are a couple of stores I want to go into to pick some things up. I know they've got Easter decorations out, so I'm excited to sort of see what they look like and kind of just get into the Easter kind of festive vibes. I do like to celebrate things, so I'm excited to sort of see the new season Easter, as well as just new season clothing and, you know, bits and bobs. I've got a little list of things. So that's kind of the plan of action for today. Let's head back inside and get into those Easter boxes. Look at these gorgeous yellow roses. All coming out. And you can see just down here, we've got a little apricot one coming. Some more apricot ones there, little red ones. Alright, hopefully that is a good position for you. I just thought I would really quickly give you a bit of a close-up of the pieces that I have. So I have this really cute Easter egg It's sort of like almost feels like a Play-Doh-y sort of plastic, and it did light up. Oh yes, it does. It lights up. It's just very cute, very sweet with the little bunny on the front. And it's almost like the Easter version of a gingerbread house, I suppose. And it's got like all of like this sort of decorated with the sweets and things. So that's very cute. Could not tell you where I got that from. And then we have these really just sweet I think they're made from like a Cecil sort of bunnies. So we've got this one here that's got the little basket with the carrots. Isn't it just gorgeous? Look at the little tail. So I've got that one there. And then I also have this one here that's in the pretty little dress, and she has a little basket with her. And like a little flower crown. That's very sweet. And so I've got this little pair here of bunnies. And then this is a really gorgeous sort of berry garland. So hopefully you can see there, it is actually a long garland. So this actually expands out to be straight, but I have wrapped it into a circle, and I actually use this for a centerpiece on the dining room table. I think it's gorgeous. I've had this for years and years. I think I got this from Bed Bath and Table. So I don't know if they've got something sort of similar this year, but it's very effective on the dining room table. So you'll see once we place it there. So I've got that there. I've got little nests with eggs in them. I have another little Cecil bunny here with a carrot. I've got, what else do I have? Oh, I've got like an Easter sort of sign with, it's actually really heavy, with the little bunnies. Aren't they just adorable? Look at those. If the camera will focus. There we go. Again, I think I got this from Bed Bath and Table. Really lovely. And then I have just some carrots. And I've got some really sort of sweet, pseudo moss covered little bunnies here. I've got the green one and a little brown one. I've got a little box here of sort of different coloured eggs. I actually really love the tone of these eggs. I think they're sort of a little bit more realistic. I know you can get, bright pink and glittered ones and things, but these tones are actually quite realistic egg colours, so I liked those. And then I've got this. So this is actually my spring table runner, but I am going to use it for Easter because I think it's just gorgeous. So just to give you a little look there, it's a really pale pink, and then it's got this really gorgeous sort of wildflower design on it, which I just think is so beautiful. Absolutely lovely. All the different flowers on it. You'll see it when I pop it on the dining room table fully. And then the last little piece that I have, and I think I got this last year, is this bunny wreath. So if I move you a little bit away, it is quite a substantial size. So you can see obviously it's the shape of a bunny, And then it's got the little eggs on it and the little faux flowers. It's very sweet. Easter's always such a hard thing to decorate for me. So the Northern Hemisphere, you're all sort of going into Easter in spring. And so, you know, the buds and, you know, new blooms and things like that is very much in season for you. Whereas I'm in the Southern Hemisphere. So I'm actually heading into autumn now. So for me, Easter is actually in autumn. So when I'm decorating for Easter, I do really try to kind of stick to an Easter theme. You will know from my own garden and from the gardening that we're about to do together in the coming weeks, autumn is a growing season for me. So I do actually get a lot of new sprouts, I get flowers, I get lots of produce, you know, fruits, vegetables, that kind of thing. So it's a unique combination. It's definitely not spring, but it is still a growing season for us here because the weather is that little bit cooler, and so plants have more of a chance of thriving instead of in the ridiculously hot summer heat. So yeah, decorating is always a little bit interesting. So I'm going to pop, so Easter is sort of, I don't go too heavy, I suppose, with the spring decorating in Easter. I kind of stick to very much an Easter theme, and then once Easter is over, I will decorate for autumn. And so I've got like a lot of really beautiful things for autumn, and that'll kind of replace this sort of more spring Eastery theme. So yes, all right, well, let's start placing these. I've kind of got a rough idea of where I'm thinking things will go in terms of, as I said earlier, those key areas. I kind of do around the front door, I do the dining room, and a little tiny bit in the kitchen because they're sort of the main areas that I see, and it's just really lovely to be able to inject some Easter festivity into those areas that I walk past and see every day. So I'm going to kind of group these into where I think they're going to go, and then we will head to those areas and place them, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, I thought first thing we would do is the sort of front entryway area. So I've just bought the little selection of items that I thought might work in this space. So I popped the Easter sign down because I do like having that at the front door. And if you've been watching my videos for a little while, you'll know that we recently restyled this space. And there's probably a few new additions with the little piece of artwork and the candelabra, but still over the moon with this space, really happy with how it's looking. I haven't got the artwork yet for the walls, but that will come. So, happy with the Easter decoration, and I think what we might just do is add in a few little bunnies just to make it a little bit festive. And maybe like a little carrot. I did bring the nest with me, but I think it's going to be too much there. I think there's too much going on. So actually, I'm really happy with that. Very simple, but festive. And just to give you another little angle of it, yeah, as I said, very simple, only a few little additions, but I definitely think the little sort of moss felt bunnies, the Easter sign and the little carrot just adds that little bit of Easter festivities right here to the front door. Very happy with that. Maybe I'll put that there. All right, so the dining room table, I actually don't normally put any sort of tablecloth or anything like that on the table. I actually really like how the wood looks. I think it's a really beautiful type of wood. But this table runner is really beautiful and just adds a little bit of colour for Easter. Try and get that nicely scented. And then we've got the little garland that I've kind of turned into a wreath, and it's just going to go around like so. And you see what I mean, how effective that is? I think with that bit of height with the berries and that, I think it looks really beautiful. And then all I'm going to do, and you can see there's like the little berries sort of coming out, is I'm going to insert some of the eggs and the little carrots into this sort of structure, just to make it feel a bit Eastery and less sort of spring-like. So just to give you a little kind of close-up and a different view of it. So that gorgeous table runner. And then this is sort of the little centerpiece that I've done. Again, the key phrase is here, keeping it simple. So I've just got the berry garland, I've added a few little carrots and some of the eggs, which kind of gives it that Easter feel. These candles pretty much just stay here year round, and they are LED candles that have timers on them, so they turn on and off by themselves at night time. And so it just gives the dining room area a really pretty glow in the evenings. So very happy with that placement there. Now, I think I'm going to add a little bunny couple in here, in amongst all the greenery here. I'm wondering if I put them sort of centered. It blocks the photos, obviously, but I mean, you see the photos all the time, and the Easter decorations won't be up for too long. Oh, they're so cute. And again, just brings a little bit of festivity to this corner. So just to change the angle there for you so you can kind of see. Very happy with that. All right, the last little corner. So, Easter decorating is now complete. I'm very happy with how it turns out. Like I said, I don't really like doing, a whole house full of decorations for Easter. I like to keep it really simple, but just add that little bit of festivity. Russ has also just finished, and so I thought I'd take you for a little wander around the garden and just kind of show you what he did today. I mentioned in a recent video that I wanted to get, so this pot was actually hidden under a lot of growth in front of the beehive, and it's a really gorgeous pot. It probably doesn't look like it right now because it's very dirty, but it's a really pretty sort of cement stone sort of style pot, and I wanted to move it somewhere where I could kind of appreciate it and, you know, see it all the time. And it weighs an absolute ton, and I just could not move it from the location it was at. So while Ross was here, there was actually a plant in it which has been planted in the ground. I'll show you. He actually removed the plant and then carried it here for me, which is very, very kind of him, because yeah, I just could not lift that. But it looks really nice in this position. I think having some beautiful coloured flowers in here will really brighten up this little corner here. The other thing that he was doing for me today was trimming back this night jasmine. So I think I mentioned when we got the really big sort of 40-foot tree cut that I kind of wanted to trim it up a little bit and sort of train it to go over into like a bit of an arch. So he has started that process for me. And he's removed a lot of the growth from the back here. Some of those branches were so thick it required a chainsaw to cut them, and I don't have a chainsaw, so he did that for me today as well, which was a massive help. Also, while I'm here, it occurs to me that I have maybe never mentioned what this is here. So this is actually a garden shed from my neighbour. This is the very back corner of their garden. Their house is quite a distance away up that way, and this is just a little garden shed in the corner, so they very rarely use it, but that's what that little structure is there, if you've ever wondered. So he got in and did that, the night jasmine, for me. He also did a little bit of hedging and things around the property. Oh, I'm so excited to get into this soon, very, very soon. The other thing that he did while he had out his hedge trimmers, just to save me some time, he trimmed these down. So they were very, very high. This one here, so the clothesline is just here. This one was really starting to, it is a Cascade Lily Pilly. It was really starting to hang onto the clothesline, which was just creating an issue for drying the clothes and sheets and things. So he's just trimmed that off, as well as sort of the conifer that was next to it. So little conifer here, they were quite tall. They're probably about 3 meters, I would say. So he's trimmed those two for me. Everything else is looking brilliant. And then just to show you, so this is the beehive here, and this plant here was the one that was in the pot that I just showed you. So he has taken the pot out and planted it in the ground. So hopefully it will be very happy with that. And this area is still nice and full and lush, but now I can actually appreciate the pot, which will be really nice. Well, the day has kind of gotten away from me, and I said to you earlier that I've got some errands and things like that to run. But what I think we might do is we might leave the errands for another day for the next video, and I might do my errands as well as head to the garden centre. I'm super, super excited to get to the garden centre. I've got lots of gardening to do. I want to get going with the kitchen garden. Goodness, look at these roses. They're doing so well in that position. They just love it there. Excuse the mess here. When he was obviously planting it, dirt sort of went everywhere, so I will clean all of that up. But yes, so I might actually leave this video here just so it doesn't get super long. It probably is already quite long with all the decorating that we did today, and then this little garden update as well. And I know how much you all love coming to the garden centre with me. So the next video, which will probably be Friday's video, is really going to be just running a few errands and then heading to the garden centre and starting to get the soil and I'd like to get some vegetables. So at Bunnings and that, they sell vegetable seedlings. So like little baby tomatoes and beetroots and things like that. I'd like to get a few of those just to kind of kickstart the kitchen garden bed. And then, so we'll do that in Friday's video, get to the garden centre and enjoy that, see what else they've got in. I've got a little list of things that I need from there. And then next week, we are going to get stuck into this. So all of this will need to be cleared out. I've got soil, I've got compost, all of that's going to go on. We'll do that all together. And yeah, we're just going to get this all freshened up, get the space completely, looking its absolute best. And then we're going to start putting in all the little vegetables. Oh, I just love it. I love it when it's all, if you're a gardener, you'll know what it's like. When your beds are all topped up with fresh soil and you've got all your little seedlings in, and it's such an exciting time. So I'm very, very, very keen to get going with that. It's all just looking a little bit wild and wonderful at this point. So yeah. I hope you have enjoyed spending the day with me today, getting the Easter decorations up, as I cannot believe Easter is just around the corner. But very happy that we got the decorating done today. It was a gorgeous day for it. It was also great to have Russ here, just sort of tackling some of those larger chainsaw required jobs. And yeah, I'm going to see you in Friday's video for a trip to the garden centre. Oh, all of these straw flowers are going to have to come out. They've done so well though, adding colour to this space. All right, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye.